The ability to have somebody who is kind of epitomizes what you think your country stands for has always been a major ambition.
In a stunning twist that reshapes royal tradition, Princess Anne ascends to the throne, marking a new and unexpected era for the monarchy. While her steady dedication has always earned respect, the spotlight now burns brighter on Anne as she embraces this historic role. Meanwhile, Camilla faces a surprising shift, losing her title, a change destined to stir whispers throughout palace walls and beyond. History unfolds before our eyes. King Charles III and the changing role of the monarchy. The British monarchy is one of those timeless institutions that feels like it's always been there. Through centuries of wars, political changes, and family drama, it's managed to stick around and adapt. Fast forward to today, and King Charles III is on the throne, continuing the monarchy's long-standing tradition while also navigating the complexities of the modern world. When Charles became king in 2022, it was a moment of historical significance. After the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, Britain went through a royal transition that, at least outwardly, seemed pretty smooth and expected. Charles had been waiting for this day for decades, quietly fulfilling his duties as the Prince of Wales, preparing for the day he'd finally step into the role of monarch. Queen Elizabeth, of course, had left behind a legacy of unwavering stability and tradition after reigning for over 70 years. But when Charles ascended the throne, things were different. The monarchy had changed. While it still held a great deal of respect, it also found itself under a new level of scrutiny, both from the public and the media. On top of that, his wife Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, stepped into a role that once seemed almost impossible. Yet here she is, gracefully taking on duties as queen consort in her own right. What an incredible shift. Camilla's path to acceptance. Years ago, the idea of Camilla becoming queen was unthinkable. A lot of people didn't like her because of her relationship with Prince Charles, especially since he was once married to Princess Diana. People were unsure if Camilla would ever have a big title in the royal family, and many thought she would always be princess consort. But over time, things started to change. Camilla worked quietly and steadily, supporting Charles in his royal duties. She became known for caring about important causes, like helping victims of domestic abuse and promoting literacy. Slowly, people began to see her in a new light. Her image softened, and she became more accepted by the British public. Over time, as she continued to show how much she cared about others and dedicated herself to her new role, public opinion shifted. She wasn't just Charles's partner. She was someone who worked hard and made a difference. By the time Queen Elizabeth made a public statement saying that she wanted Camilla to be called Queen Consort when Charles became king, many people agreed. Parliament's approval helped make this change official. So, when Charles became king, Camilla was ready to step into her role as queen. This shift in public opinion wasn't easy, but it was a reminder that the royal family, while rooted in tradition, can change and grow with the times. What seemed impossible years ago, like Camilla being recognized as queen, is now a reality because of the way people's views evolved. Through her dedication and patience, Camilla became accepted, not just in the royal family but by the public as well. It's a perfect example of how change can happen, even when things seem set in stone. Now, let's talk about Princess Anne. She's often less in the spotlight, but she's incredibly important to the royal family. In fact, some people think that her role could change or grow in the future. That's an interesting idea because Princess Anne has always been a royal of a different kind. She's not interested in the fame or glamour that comes with being a member of the royal family. Instead, she's focused on her duties. And that's why many people think she could play an even bigger role in the future. Princess Anne is the second child and only daughter of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. She's always carved her own path. While many of her family members have had their moments in the spotlight, Anne quietly worked behind the scenes, proving her value through her actions. She's known for being no-nonsense, tough, and reliable, traits that make her stand out in a family full of people often chasing attention. Anne never seemed to care about being famous. She didn't want to be the center of attention. Instead, she focused on what she could do to help others. Since she was young, Anne has had a strong sense of duty. Growing up in the public eye, she was always in the midst of royal events. But instead of seeking out the glamour and perks that often come with royal life, she embraced the responsibility that came with her position. Anne developed a reputation for being grounded and hardworking. She became one of the hardest-working royals. While some members of the royal family made headlines for their personal lives, Anne made headlines for her dedication to her work. She didn't shy away from her responsibilities. She took them seriously and worked tirelessly behind the scenes. Her work ethic earned her respect both in the royal family and from the British people. One of the things Anne is most famous for is her love of horses. She's been passionate about horses and equestrian sports since she was young. In fact, she's the first British royal to ever compete in the Olympic Games. In 1976, she participated in the Olympics in equestrian sports, showing how dedicated she was to her sport. Imagine how much time, effort, and energy she had to put into training to reach that level of competition. She wasn't just riding for fun, she was competing at the highest level, representing not just herself but her family and the country. Her determination and focus on the sport are a testament to her character. She shows that for her, achieving something meaningful takes hard work, discipline, and sacrifice. Her love for horses isn't just a hobby, it's an example of her strong work ethic and passion for whatever she does. While Princess Anne's commitment to her royal duties has always been obvious, her place in the line of succession has been a topic of conversation. When she was born, the rule for succession was based on male preference primogeniture, meaning that boys would be placed before girls in the line of succession. This meant that even though Anne was the second child of Queen Elizabeth, her younger brothers, Andrew and Edward, were placed ahead of her. For many, this felt unfair. After all, Anne has shown herself to be a hard-working and reliable member of the royal family, someone who has earned her place as a leader. So many people began to wonder why she wasn't given a higher place in the succession. Why did her brothers, who didn't have the same dedication to their duties, get to be ahead of her? As time went on, though, Anne proved that titles don't define her. Her actions spoke louder than any crown or position in the line of succession ever could. She demonstrated time and time again that being a member of the royal family is about more than just a title. It's about what you do with the platform you're given. Anne didn't need to be at the top of the line of succession to make a difference. She has consistently shown up for her royal duties, spending countless hours working for charities and causes that are important to her. Whether it's supporting children's welfare, promoting environmental issues, or helping veterans, Anne is always working behind the scenes to make the world a better place. Despite her dedication, Anne's place in the royal family often gets overlooked. Some people may not realize just how much she does, as she doesn't seek the spotlight. She doesn't want to be in the news for personal reasons. She wants to be known for her work and for the causes she supports. And that's what has earned her the respect of the British public. Her straightforward nature and no-nonsense attitude make her different from many other members of the royal family. She's relatable because she doesn't put on a show. What you see is what you get with Princess Anne, and that authenticity is something people appreciate. Princess Anne's relationship with the public is unique. She doesn't try to impress anyone. Instead, she focuses on doing the work that needs to be done. Her dry sense of humor and reserved yet approachable personality make her one of the most respected royals. And in many ways, that's what makes her stand out. In a family where appearances matter, Anne is someone who is more concerned with doing her job well than with how she looks in the media. Her dedication, no matter the circumstances, has made her a symbol of consistency and reliability. So could Princess Anne's role in the royal family change in the future? It's possible. With her proven track record of hard work and dedication, many people believe she could take on more duties or even a new title. She has already shown that she doesn't need a crown to make a difference, But who's to say what the future holds for such a dedicated royal? Whatever happens, one thing is certain. Princess Anne's commitment to her family and her country will always be remembered. She's the quiet hero of the royal family, doing the hard work that makes a real difference in the world. Princess Anne as Queen. Princess Anne, the Queen's only daughter, has long been a pillar of steadiness within the royal family, earning respect for her no-nonsense approach to life and duty. While many royals can't avoid the spotlight, Anne has masterfully kept her personal life under wraps. Her first marriage to Captain Mark Phillips gave her 2 children, Peter and Zara, who both lead relatively private lives away from the public eye. After her divorce, Anne remarried Timothy Lawrence, a former naval officer, and this second marriage has remained low-key, another testament to her preference for a quieter, drama-free existence. Unlike some of her siblings, Anne has managed to avoid the scandals and controversies that have often surrounded the royal family. Her reputation as the people's princess may have been overshadowed by Princess Diana's tragic death, but Anne's consistent dedication to duty is something to be admired. While Diana's appeal lay in her vulnerability and charm, Anne's is rooted in reliability and a grounded approach to royal life. She has always shown that being royal isn't about the glamour, but the service. She's been the steady presence working tirelessly in the background, undistracted by the limelight. This quiet commitment has earned her a special place in the hearts of those who respect the monarchy's traditions and values. Unlike some of her counterparts, Anne has never sought the throne. She's expressed a deep sense of duty, but she's never appeared to be pushing for the crown. In fact, she seems perfectly content with her role, working effectively behind the scenes to support her family and the monarchy. Despite the personal struggles of her siblings, Anne's steady reputation has only grown stronger, and there are whispers that she could one day become an extraordinary monarch. But what if that day actually came? What would it mean for the British monarchy? Let's break it down. The idea of Princess Anne becoming queen raises some eyebrows, especially when you consider that Prince William, Charles's eldest son, is next in line. William has been groomed for the role since birth. He's the natural heir, following closely in his grandmother's footsteps in terms of his public image and charitable work. By all traditional standards, he's supposed to be the next king, and it's hard to imagine that shifting. But what if Anne somehow bypassed William in an unlikely twist of fate or a major shakeup of the line of succession? For Anne to take the throne, a lot would have to change. The royal family operates with a strict line of succession, deeply rooted in centuries of tradition. For Anne to ascend, there would likely need to be either a change in the rules of succession or, more dramatically, for William to step aside. Such a shift would be unprecedented and could only happen with legal changes, likely involving Parliament. Imagine that, the royal family having to make adjustments to the rules that have been in place for so long. If Anne did end up as queen, it would be an unusual blend of the traditional and the modern. On one hand, Anne embodies many of the same values that Queen Elizabeth II did: duty, modesty, and hard work. She's the kind of royal who represents an older model of royalty, where being in the public eye was less about glitz and glamour, and more about fulfilling responsibilities with grace. But on the other hand, her ascension would be a break from the hereditary norm, throwing the royal family into uncharted territory. This situation would create a rather strange dynamic. Anne, as Charles's sister, would be bypassing the direct line of succession, meaning that William would have to wait even longer for the crown. It's tough to imagine how William might feel about that. Would he see it as a relief, knowing he could focus on his charitable efforts without the pressure of ruling? Or would it be awkward for him to watch his aunt take the crown, knowing it was his role to step into? There could be benefits for William in this unexpected scenario. With Anne at the helm, he and Catherine could have more time to focus on raising their family and pursuing their personal passions. He could continue his work on issues close to his heart, like mental health and environmental advocacy, without the weight of the monarchy resting on his shoulders just yet. But at the same time, some might see it as an unnecessary delay, especially considering William's popularity and the fresh energy he could bring to the throne. William and Catherine represent the modern monarchy, a bridge to the younger generation. The public loves them for their relatability and down-to-earth approach, which is exactly what the monarchy needs to stay relevant in the 21st century. Anne, while respected for her service and dedication, doesn't exactly embody that younger, more dynamic image, so there would be mixed feelings about her possibly stepping into the role of queen, especially when there's a popular, well-prepared heir waiting for his turn. Anne's traditional image. Princess Anne is a respected figure within the royal family, known for her no-nonsense approach and unwavering commitment to her duties. However, while her dedication is admirable, it also places her in a different era compared to younger royals like William and Catherine. Anne's style is grounded in tradition, which, while valuable, might not be what the monarchy needs in the future. If Anne were to become queen, there's a real risk that the royal family could come across as too traditional, perhaps even a little outdated, especially in comparison to the modernity William and Catherine bring to the table. William and Anne have always had a warm relationship, with Anne often serving as a mentor to the younger generation of royals. But if Anne were to ascend to the throne, William would find himself in a difficult position. As the next in line to the throne, he'd have to adjust to waiting for his aunt to finish her reign. This shift would not only change the family dynamics, but could also raise some questions in the public's mind. William is seen by many as the future of the monarchy, especially with his hands-on approach to royal duties and his openness about mental health. His public persona resonates with modern values, something that could be lost if Anne became queen. Her steady, traditional approach might seem like a step backward for a monarchy that has increasingly embraced modernity, with younger royals like William pushing boundaries and making the monarchy more relatable to the public. Anne has long been known for her dedication to her royal duties. She attends hundreds of events every year, supporting charities and representing the royal family in a way that commands respect. She doesn't seek the spotlight, but her actions speak for themselves. In many ways, this makes her the ideal candidate for those who value a strong work ethic and reliability over glamour. Her commitment to the monarchy has earned her respect, and some might argue that she could be exactly what the monarchy needs in a time when public opinion is constantly shifting. However, the rise of Anne to the throne would have significant implications for others in the royal family, particularly Camilla. Camilla has worked hard to improve her public image, especially after the public's mixed reactions to her relationship with Princess Diana. Yet, if Anne were to become queen, Camilla's position could shift dramatically. While Camilla's title as queen consort is tied to her marriage to Charles, a major change in the line of succession could affect her standing within the royal family, leading to further scrutiny and adjustment. The monarchy has always placed a premium on unity and tradition, but Anne's grounded and hardworking nature might appeal to those who prefer stability. Her ascension could reassure the public that the monarchy still values consistency and duty, even if that means stepping away from some of the flashier, modern aspects associated with the younger generation. Anne might be seen as a bridge between the older and younger royals, maintaining the traditional values that have long defined the monarchy while still adapting to the needs of the future. The prospect of Anne becoming queen is more than just a matter of royal succession. It reflects larger questions about what people expect from the monarchy. The younger generation of royals has brought fresh energy to the royal family, but Anne's steady presence reminds people of the monarchy's long-standing commitment to its duties. If she were to become queen, it would mark a symbolic return to the values of hard work, dedication, and service to the country, values that remain at the heart of the British monarchy. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Crown's new era. If you enjoyed this content, like and subscribe for more updates on the royal family, intriguing twists, and stories that shape history. Stay tuned.